Hi everyone, I'm sorry about today's quality. I have to film on my phone because my camera is being super weird. Still want to upload. I'd rather upload this quality than no video, so get what I'm saying? Today I'm gonna give you some advice on how to move to London. I realize that fewer people might be moving here right now because Brexit is coming up, but still, if you are moving here, I got you. Just a tiny bit of backstory. I've lived in London for 5 years. I'm originally from Norway. I moved here to study. I just want to say living abroad is the coolest adventure. It is super fun, but it is also hard. And you have to sort out everything by yourself and no one can carry you because people back at home, they don't know how to do, they don't know this system. They don't know how to do stuff here. So you literally need to sort your own shit out and you need to know how to do stuff. So before you move, get as much as you can organized, make a list of things you need to do and make a list of things you need to do once you get here. So I want to say that the two most important things to sort out obviously are accommodation and a job. If you're coming here to study, I recommend trying to get a place in uni halls, that's student accommodation, because it's just easier. It's a lot easier, especially when you're new in the city. If not, you can either get a room in an existing flat share, which you can, search all these different websites to find, or you can rent your own flat. Do not rent a flat without seeing it first. If you're not able to come here and view a flat beforehand, before making the move, try and get like an Airbnb or somewhere temporary, like stay with friends or somewhere that you can stay while sorting out a flat, because you have to make sure that you see the flat, you know exactly what you're getting and you know what you're paying for. People will try and scam you. Be careful, you cannot trust people. So if you have any friends here who can go to viewings for you, that's also an option. Or if you have just friends in general that can help you or go to viewings with you. If you're offered a tenancy and something looks weird, it probably is weird. Do not take anything for granted because you can't, not in London. But if you have anything that you're wondering about, ask someone, ask your friends. Don't sign the contract if you're not sure about something. But it is hard to find a nice place here. You kind of just have to be lucky and you have to keep viewing places. Like the first one you see is not, like most of the time, it's not gonna be the one that you actually end up living in. Money things can also be an issue a lot of the time with signing a contract, and also it is very hard to rent a flat without a job. So if you are moving here, expect that that's gonna be hard if you don't already have a job secured. And some agencies might even be weird about you just starting because they don't have like job security for you, and it's a lot of things. Agencies here probably deal with a lot of shitty people, so I think that's why they're so strict, but it is an annoying process to get into a place. But some agencies are also really strict about how, like, some take really big deposits and some require you to pay 3 to 6 to 12 months rent up front because they don't trust you. Basically, if you don't have some people will need you to have a guarantor, some people need you to just pay a lot of rent up front. A lot of foreigners obviously don't have UK guarantors, and a lot of agencies don't take international guarantors. If you're a student, this is a lot easier. If you're not a student, you have to prove that you're working, and this is such a headache a lot of the time. But if you have a steady job, cool, it's a lot easier, but most likely you're just starting a job if you're moving here, so it's hard to make it work. But you just have to, agree, find some kind of solution that works with your landlord. Also, on the question of an agency versus a private landlord, there are pros and cons here, because agencies do have a lot more rules because they are an actual company, so they have like a set of rules that they need to stick to, and they need you to make all the money and all this stuff. If you have a private landlord, they're most of the time they're way more chill, and they're like, as long as you pay the rent, I'm fine. Like, they don't care as much about all these things and checking that you have a job and checking all your references and all this stuff. Like, they don't usually do that. But at the same time, private landlords, at least in my experience and seeing what my friends have to deal with, a lot of the time they can just suddenly, because they are a person, they're not a company, they just can change their mind, or they can suddenly impose a new rule that you didn't know about, or that it's not even in the contract, but you have to you have to follow it, because if not, like, are they gonna throw you out? When you go to a viewing, just make sure there's no mold, because mold is such a big thing here. It's super common. Almost every flat has mold, so be careful. Also check, that it's just in generally good condition and that you have a smoke alarm. And if you live in a flat share, make sure you have a lock on your door, because you don't know, people are crazy. When it comes to location, like where to live, there are a lot of nice places in London. There's a lot of nice places to live. Depending on what zone you live in, there's zones 1 to 6. 1 is obviously like the very central bit of the city, and zone 6 is more, it's still city, but it's a bit calmer. I've also heard that people who live in the east would never live west, and people who live west would never live east. But it's very much a personal thing. People people have very strong preferences about where they would live and where they like. Also, that's important. If you rent, make sure you have a break clause so you can move if you don't like it, or check that at least you have such a contract that if you find someone to take over your room or take over your lease, you can move. Because if you move to a part of the city and you want to live somewhere else, or it's just more convenient for you, like if you get a job somewhere else and it's a really long commute, it's better to just move. Make sure that you're not like super like tied in for a year or something, because if you have a 2-hour commute, that's gonna be a long year. And also you might not get along with your flatmates, so make sure that, you know, you have an escape route. So yeah, obviously location depends a lot on where you work, because you want to kind of be close to your work because you're gonna go there every day. Also, transport is expensive here, so if you choose to live further out because it's cheaper to live further out, make sure that you're not losing all that by paying more for transport. You have to think about all these things. And then we're gonna get to the second important thing, and that's work. When you first come here, it might be hard to, you know, get all these things together in one go, but as I said, you need a job to rent most of the time, so it is really tricky. But if you just want to move to London, you just want a job, like there's always, you know, like call centers hiring, or coffee shops and all this. You can almost always get a hospitality job or customer service, especially if you speak a different language that is attractive. People always need language jobs, so that's definitely like, use your language. If you have a second language, or in most probably your case your first language, use it. You can make money off of your language. Google language jobs in London, Spanish jobs in London, all these things. Like, just find something, and if nothing else, it's something to, you know, carry over until you get your everything together and you want to look for maybe a degree job, or you want to work within a specific sector, then you can do that later. You can also, there are like different kinds of recruitment agencies, and there's also apps to use to pick up shifts and stuff. There are apps like Coupal and Sift and Baristas on Tap and stuff like that, when you can pick up specific shifts. These are usually hospitality based, so it's usually like serving, barista jobs. I mean, I've even worked in Legoland doing this, so you know, you can do a lot of different things, and it's definitely a good way to just, you know, keep yourself afloat while adjusting to everything here. Another important thing is you need an English phone or English SIM card. I didn't know how to do this when I came here, but someone advised me to get giffgaff. It's a non-contract subscription, so you can say, okay, this is not sponsored, guys, okay? Like, I know it sounds like it. I just want to recommend something when I know of something good. It's not a contract. You set it up. You can pick the exact package that you want, so you get like how much data you want, and minutes and calls and all this, and texts, I mean, and you can adjust this every month. There's also no contract, so you can end it when you want to. giffgaff, you're welcome for the free promotion. Also, the thing about getting a contract is that you usually need an address for it, so if you don't have anywhere to live yet, you won't be able to get a phone contract because you'd need proof of address. Another thing you need to set up is a bank account. If you want to get paid, you need to have an English bank account. Most of the time you need to actually make an appointment and go to the bank to have a meeting to set up your account. For this, you also need proof of address, so it might be hard to get this instantly, but I think I just got Monzo, which has totally blown up, like everyone has it now. If you get Monzo, I don't think you need a proof of address, and you can get it. It's way easier, that you don't need to set up like a meeting or anything. You just basically set it up and you order your card, so it's a lot easier. When you do get your place, you need to set up bills, and this is something that I had never done before, so I was like, oh, this is like a bit intimidating, which means you need to set up your electricity, your gas if you do have gas. I luckily don't have gas in my flat, so I'm so happy about that. Your water, your internet. Also, definitely set up direct debits for all of these bills, because then they get taken out of your account automatically and you don't have to think about them, because you do not want to miss payments. My least favorite thing about living here is council tax. In Norway, you only pay council tax if you own the place you live in. Here, you pay it anyway. All right, we're getting to the end, don't worry. Something important that I just want to mention: make friends. For me, most of my friends that I have here, I made through either work or uni. So if you have something that you're actually doing, obviously then you're gonna meet people and it's a lot easier to make friends. Most people in London are foreigners. They have moved from other places, so everyone wants to make friends. So it's super easy to make friends. I've always had the problem living here that I have too many friends than time. Like I don't have time to hang out with my friends enough, which is so frustrating, but it's still like, it's a luxury problem to have, but it's like, oh my god, why are people so awesome? I don't have enough time for them. But yeah, make sure that you are approachable, and I mean, go to events, go to, I don't know, like yoga class or whatever, go like do things that make it easy for people to approach you and make it easy for you to approach people and do social things, because it's gonna make living abroad a lot more fun and a lot easier. Hi everyone, it's Editing Tuna again as usual. I forgot to mention that you need to set up a national insurance number, which is kind of like a social security or like a personal identity number that you need to work or to get paid. This is probably super easy to Google. Basically, you just have to contact job center, go to a meeting, tell them you're not a criminal, and then you'll get the number in the post and you can give it to your employer. All right, so I hope that answered some questions, and I hope if you are planning to move to London or abroad in general, I hope this helped you. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below and I'll answer them to the best of my capabilities. I love talking about this stuff because I love living abroad, and I do want to inspire other people to do the same, because this is probably like the best decision I've made for myself. So if you want to do it, do it. Do not have that what if or regret that you didn't. Follow your dreams, guys. Do it. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up, and I upload videos every Friday at 12, so please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me. All right, keep up the good vibes. Bye.